How come nobody is talking about how to write for AI search so your brand can get seen? How you write is the difference between being found by AI and being invisible. Now, it's not about shouting louder and it's not about being everywhere. Now, I've been studying AI for about 6 months now, and today I'm revealing the 7 steps that can turn your content into pure AI bait. So the likes of Copilot, ChatGPT, and Gemini can find you and start recommending you and your business to people. So stay tuned to find out what these 7 steps are. Now, you've likely heard about optimizing your content and having keywords in there and making it SEO friendly. Now, this is a new era of search, and you need to optimize your content for what we now call generative search, aka Generative Engine Optimization. And this is about making AI tools like those I've mentioned, Copilot, ChatGPT, Gemini, and others. You need to show them and tell them to recommend you when somebody comes to AI search looking for an answer to their question. So it's not just about SEO anymore. It's about training the AI search algorithm to see you as the answer. So let's get into step 1. So these are the 7 key strategies to be found by generative AI. Number 1 is be credible and authoritative. So what this basically means is when AI goes to search for answers, it looks for people and personal brands and businesses that show these 4 key things: experience, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. So, how do you show AI that you have these 4 things in your content? One of the key ways to do this is to include an author bio on your website, in the content that you send out to media pitches, in the content you send to podcasts. Always include an up to date author bio. Include your credentials. Let's say if you've won an award, you've been shortlisted for an award, include that also in the copy, in the content that you're speaking, and in the content that you're writing. And also links to reputable sources. AI is more likely to show you to people if you've been featured in the media. If you've been featured in local outlets, regional outlets, or national outlets. That's what AI uses as a benchmark. And if you've been featured in a number of different places that relate to the person's query, it is more likely to show you as a source that has experience, expertise, authority, and is trustworthy. And it will show you to the person who is looking. Number 2, use natural language and answer based formats in your content and in the content you're speaking on podcasts and on radio interviews. So you need to write like you're answering a question, because AI is actually looking for question and answer type content. So I'm sure you've used AI. And when you start talking to AI, it gives you back questions, it gives you back answers, it helps you try to find the answer. So when somebody's looking for something in AI, they often ask, where is my nearest pizza shop? Or how can you tell me how to solve X problem? So if you have a content out there in the media or on your website that answers specific questions that this person will have, your ideal audience, then AI is more likely to show them, and AI is more likely to see that as a credible answer to their question. And one key thing that I used to do a lot when I was working in journalism is provide like a very top line overview of the content. So you have a 500 word piece, or on your website or on someone else's website or on a blog you've submitted somewhere. In that article, have like the key takeaways in a bullet point list, because that makes it super scannable for AI to find the answer. And oftentimes you'll find AI does show a lot of answers that are bullet pointed. So if you are also doing bullet points within your content, it helps AI to scan it more easily. Now let's move on to tip number 3, which is going to surprise you, but I will tell you why it's something that you really, really need to think about. Okay, so some of you are going to think this is absolutely crazy and I'm crazy for recommending it, but hear me out. Number 3 is optimize for chunk level retrieval. Okay, so what exactly does this mean? AI doesn't read your whole page. It looks for chunks of information that are relevant to the person who's asking the question. So what you need to do is make sure each of your paragraphs are self contained and all of the sentences within that paragraph relate to each other. Because when AI goes out to look, it's looking for one succinct paragraph that answers all the questions in relation to that question. So if you have bits of the answer all over your page, AI is not really going to know how to show an answer from your content to the person who's looking for the answer. But if you try and keep each section self contained and focused on one idea, it just makes it easier for AI to go, oh, hang on, there's a paragraph here and this paragraph answers all the questions that this person needs in order to move on to the next step. So when I say chunk level retrieval, I don't mean put 300 words in a paragraph. I mean, look at your content and make sure that the 4, 5, 6 sentences that are there, they all relate to each other and they are all connected to focusing on one idea and one question that is being answered within that content. Now, number 4. Number 4 is use long tail keywords. Now, if you've been using AI, you will notice that it's very conversational. AI cares a lot about the context that matches what you're looking for. So it will ask you questions, it will prompt you. So when you are talking on podcasts or TV or radio or writing content, try and include some long tail keywords. So let's say if I was typing in to AI search and I'm looking for PR tips. And I type in PR tips. So AI will go out and try and find content around PR tips. Within my content, if I have something like, how do I get media coverage for my small business? And if I have content in relation to that on my website or in a piece that I've been quoted on in a publication, it is more likely to go and produce that content and go and grab that content and show it to the person because it's answering more of a question and it's using more long tail keywords. Now we're going to move on to number 5. Now, before we move on to the next point, I just want to tell you a little bit about myself. And if you're new here, I'm Sandra and I am a PR coach, a mentor, and I'm a journalist that has spent 15 years of her career working in newsrooms across local, regional, and national print and broadcast media. And I'm here to share my insider tips from these years in newsrooms with you so you can get a better understanding of how to get featured in the media and also to help you come up in AI search. I have helped countless clients. I've worked with over 100 publications, some of them super top tier like Independent, Telegraph, Forbes, Harper's Bazaar. And I've also worked with a number of broadcast media also. And I've also written a book called Breaking into the Media, a Journalist's Guide to Publicity. And in this book, you will find countless tips on how to get your brand seen in the media. Now, let's move on. Now, number 5 is implement a structured data. So, what does this mean? You really need to help AI understand your content a lot better. When AI goes out to search for you, it's looking for content that it knows will answer the question. So, the first place I want you to look at is your website, your press releases, your pitch emails that you're sending out. Do they have a really good structure? And what I mean by this is, let's say you look at your website. How well structured is it? Does it have links within the website? Is it linking into each other? Do all the pages talk to each other? Do you have an FAQ section on your website? And this is super important because AI is optimized to look for FAQs in order to find answers quickly so it can show them to somebody looking on AI search for you for answers. Always include things like your FAQs on the bottom of any content that you're doing. Also include your credentials, your author bio. These should all be very, very visible on your site because it helps AI understand where you rank in its mind. And if you start to build in some of these details into your content, it will boost your visibility in AI and it'll also boost your authority in AI generated searches. Okay, so now we're going to go on to tip number 6. And this is building out depth and breadth in your topics. So, as well as telling AI more about your content and more about you and your personal brand, you need to build depth and breadth into what you are telling AI about you. So, how you do this is creating what we call pillar pages. And these pillar pages within your website are things that really delve deep into the issues that affect your audience. If you are an authority on a topic, you need to have a lot of this content and in-depth content about this topic on your site, not just one blog, not a couple of mentions here and there, maybe a mention on your bio page. You need to have in-depth content. You need to tell AI that I am an authority. Come over here and I will prove to you that I am. Now, you'll have heard me say this on my YouTube channel before, but this is really how AI finds authorities in different spaces. And it is by getting featured in trusted publications in your niche. So you need to go out and get media coverage for your brand. And AI often pulls from third-party sources like newspapers, magazines, high authority blogs, TV, radio, podcasts. Earned media in outlets like the Telegraph, the Independent, the Standard. This tells AI that you have been vetted by somebody else in the media in a high authority publication, and it will show you, it will go, oh, hang on, this person has authority, they've got expertise, they've been quoted in these publications. I am going to show their answer, I'm going to show their expertise to the person that is looking for answers to that particular question. It hugely boosts your discoverability in AI if you've been featured in the media. You want to build a personal brand or just want to get your business to show in AI search, then this is how you become the go-to expert that AI recommends. Now, if you would like help with this, please comment below because I would love to know the answer to what you are looking for right now in order to get media coverage. What's stopping you? What are the blocks that you've got? Because any suggestions you have for videos, I'm very, very open to hearing them and I would love to hear your suggestions. So if you're ready to be found by AI, you need to start optimizing not just your site, but also your reputation and your reputation in the media. Because the future doesn't belong to the loudest voice, it actually belongs to the one that has the most credibility and has the most credibility that AI can find. So thanks for watching. Make sure to subscribe to my channel because I will be diving more into AI in the weeks and months ahead as I discover new things about it and I start to research it more. And please watch one of these 2 videos next because they will really help you dive into why media coverage is important and how it helps your brand get in front of the right customers and build your reputation within the media and become more visible. Subscribe to my channel and I hope to see you in my next video.